Nick with Temple of Geek, and we've got the Kiners here with us, dancing it up here. So obviously, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and your family has essentially been the sound of Star Wars for quite some time now, and you're continuing the legacy of John Williams. So how do you approach such kind of an epic, known world and continuing those stories?
Well, we started, like you said, a long time ago. You know, George hired me in 2006. So it's really been an evolution. And initially, George Lucas did not want us to use a lot of John's themes. We could use them in certain places, but only when we had permission. And I thought that was really effective because then all of a sudden when you use the Force theme, it becomes an extremely powerful moment in the show. And so as we've gone on year by year, I mean, we've done hundreds and hundreds of episodes of it. So the score grew along with the show. And as the show has become different, as Star Wars has grown, the music has grown too. And it's just organic within the property, really.
How's it been for the two of you to be diving into this world and being a part of this?
Terrifying.
Yeah, very scary, but I try to just do a lot of research, just study and see what John did before us and figure out ways that I can incorporate what I do and the knowledge that I have and a background that I have and see how it can fit into Star Wars and fit into John's sound.
Yeah, I grew up with reading the books, watching the movies obviously, but just burying myself in Star Wars lore and things. And so to be now a part and be contributing, it feels like a big responsibility. So we take it very seriously.
And what backgrounds do you have coming into this, bringing it into this world?
Well, I do a lot of indie rock and just weird instrumental music.
But Deana graduated from Berklee College of Music, and she's the only one of us who has a degree in music. And I never took a music class in my life, but I studied scores. I have a real original John Williams score of Star Wars from 1980 or something like that, and I've been studying him since I started writing music.
Each of the shows has its own personality when it comes to the music and its own themes, and they're all epic, they're all memorable. How do you go into approaching each show and trying to figure out how to write for it?
Well, I think that it starts with the story, and it starts with the direction from Dave Filoni, certainly, right? And so, as much as we would like to take credit for, all the things that we do, really it starts with the characters, right? We wouldn't be able to do great themes and things if we didn't love, if we didn't love these characters, if we weren't inspired by these characters. And so that's really where it starts, I think. It's with the story.
You were talking about Bad Batch, and they were characters at the end, and
the final season of Clone Wars, that's right.
Yeah, and you decided to write a theme for them. Right. Even we didn't know there was a show.
Yeah, it was I just really like these guys.
We're just so excited.
And I really
want
to make a thing for them, and so we did because we're it'll just be for 4 episodes, but it'll still be cool for them to have a motif. And then we found out, they're actually getting their own show, and we're thank goodness that we did a good job on that we tried really hard on that.
As a fan, I thought that was purposeful. So well done. Well planned on that.
That's fate, kind of, in a way, isn't it? And maybe we were kind of hooked into because they didn't tell us it was going to be.
That's true. It's Lucasfilm. They keep that tight.
Very close to the vest. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in Ahsoka Season 2. We have no idea. We won't know. We won't know the last episode, even as we're working on Episode 3 next year or whatever we're doing.
We really like working that way, though. It makes us feel like we're kind of participating as an audience member, understanding what somebody watching the show will go through when they see the episode for the first time. So it's a really nice approach that we have.
Yeah, we feel like we're just fans with 1 year's notice on everybody else.
I feel that with everybody who works on Star Wars, that it's just as fans making the things that they love.
We went to all the midnight showings. I went to every one of them. I took them.
All the prequels.
Yeah.
I was the same way. And we had to wait in lines for.
You got
a
a tattoo,
time.
man.
I do.
Dude, you're for real.
No, I'm legit.
I don't have any.
I'll catch up soon.
But you've got your Ahsoka and Anakin going on there. Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of which, so a lot of the characters have their own themes, and the shows have their own themes. Are there any particular ones that are your favorites?
I personally love the way that we developed Crosshair's theme because it ended up being we started with just a simple motif for where he was at in his story. And as he grew, we got to grow his theme alongside like each event, everything that he went through. It was just, it felt really organic and really special, and we hadn't done it like that before.
Very complicated, deep character, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For me, it's got to be Omega, probably. I wrote that when, like, the pandemic had just hit. I had a newborn, like, daughter. The world was so dark, and then I had this little, like, ray of hope, though, in my lap, literally as I'm, like, working. Because, she's just a little ball of nothing, right? And so, like, I just channeled that emotion, though, like, with her on my lap, at my keyboard, and it came out like that. And so I associate it with my daughter, and it's hard to top that.
Do you have a favorite?
So, I mean, my favorite has to be Ahsoka's theme, but we just passed and we took a video with Hera, cosplay person, and I went up to her and I said, "Hey, I wrote your theme," and I actually got goosebumps when I was able to say that to someone. I mean, she was stoked, but I think I was more stoked. I really like that theme, and I wrote it a long time ago, and it still lives, and I'm really proud of it. So there's a lot of them.
There are so lot. Every time you put Ahsoka back in there, because of all the longevity and the nostalgia with it, like it's hard not to tear up with that. And I know you use it sparingly because
Same like the Force theme. You have to be really careful. It's a very strong spice.
So how's this journey been for you? I mean, I know you're just a bunch of fans that are working on something that you love, but kind of looking back at everything that you've done and kind of this these iconic projects and keeping this fandom alive. I mean, you don't feel it at the time, but looking back, how does that feel for you?
Well, it's definitely felt like there has been a lot of progress. I don't know if that's just because of, how, like, there's been progress, like, Ahsoka going from animated to then live action and things. But, like, being able to experiment for this long with the genre that John Williams created has led us to some really interesting places, and it really has been like a journey. We've covered so much ground, and it's been so cool to see how much eclectic energy Star Wars can bear, and it can bear a lot. It's really always surprises me.
Yeah, it's been very much just about like growth and seeing where we can expand, where we can try something new, try something different, see what works, and sometimes it's like, okay, that was a disaster. That was maybe not a good idea, but like it's...
Stays with the three of us.
Yeah, exactly. And we can like send it to you, like I'll send it over to Sean and be like, what do you think? And he's like, let's not do that.
No, but other times we don't like something we've done, we send it and you're like, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh? And honestly, because as an artist, you're in the moment kind of, you don't always have objectivity.
Mm-hmm. How's it for you when you actually see it for the first time? When you hear it and see it for the first time, what is that reaction like?
That's honestly a mixed bag because I'm critiquing every single aspect of
True artist.
Like I'm just like, oh, I should have done that a little bit differently. Oh, I wanted to hit that a little bit more. Oh man, like I need more explosions. Cover that up. Let's do this.
There really, for us, in many ways, isn't a first time because it's such a process, So we've lived with it. It's grown. It's been arranged and it's been recorded. So in that way, we don't kind of get to do that. We can see the show for the first time, and that can be daunting, to see the show and go, oh my gosh, I have to write this mountain of music, But there really, for me, there isn't a first time. I mean, to me, it's better just like being outside and meeting Hera and saying I wrote the theme. Then it was a long time ago. And then it just feels nostalgic and wonderful.
I will say that the fans really make it more tangible. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is real, and real people actually watch this, and I was just like stuck in my hole for 6 months, like in the dark, writing, like watching the scene over and over again until it becomes like meaningless or whatever. But watching like a fan get really excited to see us feels crazy, but it makes it feel real all of a sudden.
Yeah, shout out to Clone Twitter.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and how are you able to stay motivated and inspired after so many shows? Is it just kind of come naturally?
It comes from the picture, honestly. It's like, oh, we just watched this thing, and we're like, we can't wait to grab chunks of it and start working with it, really. So that's the easy part.
And is there anything you are currently working on at the moment, or that you can talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I always love the "we can't talk about it" answer. That's always
Well,
great.
I mean, Tales of the Empire is out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, we continue to work with Dave Filoni and
There you go.
Lucasfilm.
That's it, and you can just.
Yeah, and
Good relationship.
and we're very excited about Tales of the Empire. Also, the soundtrack for you know, like Tales of the Jedi is out, and we're really, I mean, we've been putting that together. That we recorded a long time ago, but it's nice to give that to the fans and to see the response that it's getting. And Bad Batch part. You know, the part 3 is it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that soundtrack.
See, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
We're just like,
Just say them out loud. Like whatever you think is out, maybe.
No, I mean, but the soundtrack is out.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, that's
It's a trap. It's a trap. Yeah. But as a longtime fan, like your work has been so inspiring, and having that stay alive, and it always feels Star Wars. It always brings that kind of joy and hope from all the fans that we talk about your work all the time, and it's amazing. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. And you know, when you say that, actually, it's times like this, talking to people like you, seeing the fans' reactions and things like that. That's what brings it back to us, how important it is what we do, and it makes you wake up in the morning and be motivated to, you know, live up to yourself.
Well, we cannot wait to see the future of what you bring for us, and I'm very excited about that. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.